Hello friends, Khamagani. My name is Kavita Rathore and welcome to my channel Joy of Sharing. Today we have a very special guest with us. He is a super cop from one of the leading paramilitary forces of India, the CRPF, and at the same time he is a national level springboard diving champion, a gold medalist and a record holder, the record of whom is still unbeaten even after 39 years since it was made. Isn't that amazing? He is none other than DIGP Shri MS Shekhawat of the CRPF. Let's take a sneak peek into his achievements.
He is a proud Mayoite. During schooling, he was awarded as Best Sportsman in 1976 by Late Smt Indira Gandhi, the Prime Minister of India. In 1980, he was awarded All-Round Sportsman and Principal's Medal by Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw. He joined the CRPF in 1979 right after completing schooling from Mayo. Exceptional springboard diving champion Shri MS Shekhawat was junior national springboard diving champion from 1970 to 1978, and after joining CRPF also he remained the All India Police Aquatics champion in springboard diving from 1980 to 1986. Further, in 1980, for All India Aquatics Nationals, he won the gold medal in springboard diving with a national record, which is unbeaten even after 39 years. Native of Badi Tidoki near Salasar, he is son of Thakur Sahab Shri Bhavar Singh Ji Shekhawat, Arjun Awardee 1971 in swimming. After serving in very sensitive areas of Punjab, Kashmir and Northeast during volatile period of 1987 to 2009, he took over command of DIGP at Neemuch. He is a highly celebrated officer. The decoration earned by Shri MS Shekhawat are President Police Medal for Difficult Areas, President Police Medal for Internal Security, President Police Medal for Meritorious Service, President Police Medal for Distinguished Services, President Police Medal Golden Jubilee, DG CRPF Commendation DISC Golden and Silver, DG Tripura Police Commendation DISC Silver. He is married to Srimati Manmohan Rathore of Jamla and blessed with two beautiful and talented daughters. Elder one is a doctor and major in the army, and younger one is an engineer aspiring to join army as well.
Without making further ado, let's get started with our one-on-one conversation with DIGP Shri MS Shekhawat. Before we do that, a small request. जॉय ऑफ शेयरिंग से जुड़े हुए रहने के लिए उसे सब्सक्राइब करना बिल्कुल ना भूलें, जिससे कि आने वाले किसी भी इंटरेस्टिंग वीडियो से आप मिस आउट ना हो जाएं और कनेक्टेड रहें. ऑफ कोर्स इट विल मोटिवेट अस एंड हेल्प अस ग्रो आवर जॉय ऑफ शेयरिंग फैमिली एज वेल. Feel free to like and share our videos with your friends and family. Thank you so much.
Khamagni Hukam, thank you so much, first of all, for happily agreeing for this interview and sparing time from your busy schedule. We are very much thankful to you, Hukam.
Welcome all.
I'm very sure that काफी लोगों को आपका ये इंटरव्यू बहुत ही ज़्यादा inspirational रहेगा, and they'll feel highly motivated from this, and that's our one whole and soul motto. So once again, a very big thank you from the Joy of Sharing team, Hukam. Hukam, so as we know that great people, that the way they achieve the things in their life, तो उसकी जो बीत जो है कहीं ना कहीं उनकी बचपन में रहते हैं, उनकी childhood में रहते हैं. So please take us through about your early life, like your childhood, your upbringing, and like were you had this dream of becoming CRPF officer बचपन से ये कैसे हुआ सर? तो सर हमको आप पहले से like if you can take us through your childhood, it would be really great.
Okay, my father was in the Indian Navy, and we were posted at Mumbai. So we had a Navy Nagar swimming pool. So I used to regularly go to the swimming pool with my father when he was practicing. So because he was also a national champion and Arjun Awardee, has already brought it out,
Wow.
and I used to see him, and there were other divers and swimmers who were practicing along during that time. So seeing them, I was like, also fascinated, like, I should also be able to swim. But that time, initially, I was a non-swimmer, and the way that we were taught swimming was people said, okay, do you know swimming? I said, no, I don't know swimming. Okay, they'll catch you and just throw you into the pool
Okay.
and let you come out on your own. So
अच्छा.
you start banging your hands and legs, and you try to shout, scream to help and all. And if you are drowning, somebody will always dive in and bring you out.
Right.
So like I started banging my hands and this that. So I did a little bit of swimming, and ultimately someone caught me out. So I realized it is a must that you should learn swimming because
Okay.
you don't want to drown.
Okay.
So that way I started off swimming, and then looking at my father and other divers of the services, I was inspired to also go into diving. So after Indian Navy, my father took voluntary retirement, and he came and joined Mayo College Ajmer as a swimming coach. And Rajasthan, normally you would feel it is a desert where we hardly have water to drink.
Okay.
But we had a luxury in Mayo College Ajmer Public School. We had a swimming pool of our own. So I got the chance of practicing there, and with my father as my coach. And I started off somewhere around in 1970s, and when I was quite small. But from 1974 to 1979, then I was the springboard diving champion in my junior time.
Wow.
And after I joined CRPF in 1979, then I again participated in Open Nationals. That was in 1980. And in 1980, I won the gold medal with a new record, national record, which is unbeaten till date from 1980
Oh
to
my
2000.
God. That is, I mean, really amazing. Till date, 30 has been 39 long years unbeaten. That's commendable, sir. Amazing. Really hats off to you.
So this is all about being young. Then of course I was interested in other games also. Like I was interested in athletics. Then I was interested in gymnastics. I was doing a little bit of cross country also, and I was awarded the best sportsman of the year in the school 1976 by late Srimati Indira Gandhi. She was the Prime Minister of India, and in 1980, again, I was awarded all-round sportsman in Mayo College by Field Marshal SFJH Manekshaw. He was the only Field Marshal that time, and after that, I think Crpf also became the Field Marshal.
Right.
So, from my childhood, we were into sports, and on the basis of sports only, lot of like the CRPF and other services, they look for good sportsmen to enlist into their forces. So I was spotted by, we had one IGP. He was Mr. Balottam Verma.
Mhm.
So he spotted me in those time when I was playing in juniors.
Wow.
So he requested my dad, ki, why don't you get him enlisted into CRPF?
Nice.
So my father said, no problem. So then I got enlisted into CRPF in 1979
Okay.
when my age was only 17 and a half years. Actually, joining a force requires minimum age group of 18 years.
Okay.
But I joined at 17 and a half years. Of course, I didn't know much about the force, but I thought this is a good chance where I can improve my sports. And ultimately, of course, in 1980, I became the national champion.
Right, right. That's really amazing, sir. And so what was the reaction of your father and other family members? Like, as you said that he was from Navy. So was he all happy yourself joining CRPF, or he wanted you to join Navy or something?
No, no, no. He was very happy. Like initially, we did not have any plans. See, you don't have any plans of going and joining a services at the age group of 17. So, so it was like unexpected. It
Yeah.
like I got an offer from CRPF, and when I got the offer, I joined immediately. So
Right.
I didn't have to go into any written test or any of those things. You
Okay.
know, on the basis of your sports achievement,
Right.
you were so no written exams or clearing physical and all that. So I said, okay, good opportunity to improve my sports further. So I immediately joined CRPF 79.
So Hukam, it was immediately directly from like passing out yourself the 12th standard.
Yeah, yeah. I 20 like I passed out in March 1979 12. That was the first batch of 10 plus 2
Okay.
CBS. So immediately after passing out, 23rd April, I joined the CRPF. March was the exam,
Wow.
and April I joined CRPF.
So you didn't get any spare time. It was like CRPF probably was waiting for you to, yeah, that's amazing, sir. And as I was going through Hukam, your detailed brief over your biodata, so you have got your education from the Mayo College. So tell us something about that. I can, if I am correct, the symbol which is there right now on your shirt, that is also of Mayo, right?
Yeah, this is the emblem of Mayo.
Yes. So tell us something about that. Like, how was your experience? Has some Mayo, so the routine of Mayo, that also inspired you to, become an officer in future?
Yeah, Mayo basically initially Mayo was it was instead of Mayo College it was Maharaja College, and all princely states were only allowed to come and join Mayo College, and it was right from you can say nursery to graduation.
Okay.
And the prince were trained and educated basically in the British style and British manners which they required of the princely state to learn, because ultimately they had to communicate with the princely states of India. So this started off as Maharaja College, and later Lord Mayo, Viceroy of India, who also had a lot of part playing in getting this school into Rajasthan.
Okay.
So after his death, I think then the name was, because a lot of work had been put in by Lord Mayo. So the name was ultimately turned into Mayo College. So it was college that time. Then later, probably the general council, they thought instead of keeping it as a college, let us stick around right up to school level. So that time, then ultimately they maintained the name of college, but ultimately then it was a 10 plus 2 school after that.
Right.
So like I joined in fifth standard, and we were very small kids. Hardly initially I did have a problem because we were from a Hindi background basically, or a Rajasthani background,
Okay.
because in Bombay I was studying in Kendriya Vidyalaya KV.
Okay.
So suddenly coming to a school where each and every child was very fluent in English, and like I was into that learning stage. So it took about 1 or 1.5 year to come up and cope up with that level,
What
because
was the standard when you got like you got admission in Mayo?
I joined in the fifth standard.
It's,
Fifth standard, and that was the preparatory school. They were preparing the students for the main school.
okay.
So fifth was because below fourth standard, the Mayo starts from fourth standard,
Okay.
because below fourth a child is too small
Right.
to take care for himself. Of course, they had Farash and all to help these kids, but they felt below fourth will be very difficult for the child to cope up. He will be very homesick and all that. So the Mayo starts up from fourth. So fourth and fifth is the preparatory. Then you come into the main school, that is the junior school. Then after 8th, you come into the middle, and then ultimately the senior at 12th.
So how was your experience? Like, was it boarding or you were a day boarder?
No, I was a day boarder basically, unless there were times when my father had to go to his village to like construct a house. So for about 2 months or something, I would go into the boarding. Otherwise, I was basically a day boarding. I was coming back at home, staying inside the campus only.
Okay.
But basically, mostly I was day boarding only.
Right, right. So that's really interesting to know. And Mayo itself is a big name in terms of education, and they develop all-round personalities. So and we can see that in you. So, sir, as you said that because you had extraordinary sports skills, and on the basis of that, you got selected into CRPF. But otherwise, like nowadays, if somebody wants to join CRPF, is graduation minimum requirement, and after that also I think there must be some written and physical or maybe round of interviews.
Yes, yes. Today, anybody who wants to join CRPF, after his graduation, he has to go through an examination conducted by the UPSC.
Okay.
And after clearing that exam, then on the basis of percentage that you have acquired in the examination, then you can opt for different forces on the basis of percentage, like you want to go into CRPF, BSF, ITBP, SSB, all these forces. So do give a choice. You give a choice, and then it depends if they can adjust you into that same choice that you have requested, or you get the second choice or third choice.
Right, right. And is it like prelim and main exam, or they just have one exam and after that there is interview or physical examination?
No, it is a physical and a written examination followed by interview.
Oh, okay. Right, right, right. And so tell us something about like once you joined, as you said that in the month of April 1979 you joined CRPF, if I mentioned correctly. So after that, like how was the training period for you?
Training initially, like we have about 9 months of training. That is the basic training of any person who joined in CRPF. He may join as a constable or he may have joined as an officer.
Okay.
So 9 month very rigorous training. Basically, they want you to go into toughness, endurance, skills. Then you got to learn about rule, regulations, law, strategies. All these things that is taught like morning periods would be like all lectures and indoor classes, and afternoon were mostly outdoors. So you were trained into all sort of weaponry and everything. I would not give you a lot of detail because that is classified information as per the policy. We're
Right.
not supposed to discuss that.
Okay. Okay. So, but like, were there candidates that who will just, you know, they will say, बस अब हमसे और नहीं होगा और हम तो बस जा रहे हैं घर नहीं बड़ा tough है इस type से कुछ.
Yes, it normally happens initially, right, from first day to say about 2 or 3 months. That is the toughest time because people coming from various families where like he must be very sort of lazy or lethargic or restless. So ultimately he's all put into a lot of workout and all that. So people do break sometimes. So anybody who breaks down, then ultimately he leaves. But I feel the training is basically progressive. They don't like initially put you right into strain. They will start off progressively, slowly. Then they will increase more of the workout. So it is progressive. So most of the people do get through it. After 3 months, the person becomes so used to it, and he becomes at least so tough. Then he can bear anything that is given to him.
Right, right. But must have been very difficult because as we sometimes get to see a glimpse of them, maybe watching some movies or something. Because in movies also they don't make you see exactly what is going on, but then it's really okay, they must be very challenging situations, and then people might feel, oh no, we are not able to do it. We are going home. Likewise.
Right. It is basically a like very good experience. Of course, initially you do curse because you put into all that strain and all that, and every time when you're crawling into the mud and water and keychad and all that, so that time you do curse. But after completion of your training, when you look back, you feel it is a very good memorable experience that you had during your training period. Everything goes in a group. It is something like in the schools also, when there was a group punishment, about 7, 8, 10 boys together, either you have made a murga or you made people stand in a imaginary chair position, or so most of the time you laugh it out. You enjoy that when it is a group. Individual might be different, but when it is in a group, so you laugh it out and you carry on with that and you complete it very easily. So there's not much of a problem in that. And ultimately, um people do come out with flying colors after that.
So as you had joined the services, so after that, in initial days, like when you resumed as an officer, so what were the challenges you faced in your job? Or it was like, I'm sure like initially it must be something like totally different we are engaged into, or it was similar to what you were trained for, because that was more of like physical and discipline based training.
Yeah, initially, I would say challenges, I would say in the CRPF, every day is a challenge. Every day you meet unforeseen circumstances and you have to, compete with all those challenges. Basically, the CRPF is a force which looks after the internal security of the country. So right from the starting, I was like posted into Punjab, where in 1987-88 the terrorism was at its peak. And after Punjab, immediately from 1990, then I was posted in Kashmir when the terrorism in Kashmir was at its peak. So I faced all those peak period of terrorism and militancy. Then I went to Northeast, Northeast also, like, Nagaland, then Tripura. So all these places we were always fighting militancy, insurgency, Naxalites and terrorists. So every day whenever you went out for an operation, you were never sure that you're going to come back. So it was like that. But if you were trained well, and if you knew your strategies well, and if you know how to, conceal and camouflage yourself in that area, then you were a winner. And mostly, I hardly remember any, or I must have had very less casualties of my men who went into special operations with me. We had done quite well.
Oh, that's really great, sir. And so many people have like many people in the viewers may not be able to distinguish like what exactly is CRPF. It has the name of police in it, but it looks like army. So can you a little bit educate our viewers on like what exactly CRPF is and what is it? Many might be knowing, but many might not be knowing as well.
Well, the CRPF originally started as a CRP, that was the Crown Representative Police, that was in 1839. So this police were representing the Crown of Britain, England basically. They were the forces of Queen of England. And they were the British force. And after independence, then uh, there were a lot of people who said, this forces of the Queen of England, they were the British force, so they should be disbanded. They are Gaddars of India. So ultimately, Vallabhbhai Patel came into rescue. He said it is a force which has a training and a background of good fighting and, killing a lot of dacoits and, those times there were only dacoits, there were no militancy and all that. So Vallabhbhai Patel came into the help, and he said, okay, instead of taking them out, because a gallant force which has a background and training of 10 years, so why not we re-Christian it into an Indian force? Then it was turned into a Central Reserve Police. That was the Indian police force. Later, CRPF, because it was deployed, it was a central force, and wherever there was problem, the center would send these forces. So in West Bengal, when the Naxal Badi problems came over, so this force was sent there, and ultimately the state government, they said, how can you put a police onto our state? Because policing is a state subject basically. So to make it a central government force, ultimately they added a F after that. That became Central Reserve Police Force. So police force, then ultimately it was a central government subject, and it could be sent anywhere wherever the central government felt that the force is required to maintain law and order in that state. So ultimately it went into states also.
That's nice to know. Thank you so much for sharing that, Hukam. I think, Hukam, then my next question to you is that if possible, and if your protocol and everything permits, like if you can share with us any interesting or the most difficult project you have faced so far.
I was in Tripura, where I had gone in for a operation for 7 days with one platoon, and Tripura in those days was not like very advanced and all. So there were like wooden bridges that we had to cross. So I had one ton and one gypsy. With that, around 24 people with me. We went in for a special operation. When we crossed that bridge, the bridge broke after that,
Oh my
and we
God.
had to come back the same way, and we did not have a bridge to come back. So, but we did have 7 days operation was there. So we said, okay, let us think about the operation right now, and we'll think of the bridge later on when we have to return. And I went into the hills, and we operated for 7 days. Of course, we were not able to kill any militant because they were on top and we were below. When we were approaching the hill, they saw us and they all ran away. But they had a lot of dens out there. So all those dens were destroyed by me and my platoon, and that complete hill was cleared of militant after that. When we came back, of course, I immediately contacted the collector and the SP. I told them we have already completed our task and now we got to come back. So I want that bridge to be repaired. So of course, in last 2 or 3 days, they put some bamboos and some wooden bullies and all, and they did repair the bridge, and we were ultimately able to cross that bridge. But after we crossed over again, that bridge went down.
Oh, wow. Oh, that must be very scary. So
Of
in
course.
these trying times, like as you said, for 7 days, you were sort of alienated from the mainland, like you could not go back. So did you guys, like your whole team and yourself, had food supplies? How did you sustain for all those?
We are doing our training only. We are trained for jungle training for nearly, like, where you can live off the jungle for nearly about 10 days. So we do have a little bit of food supply, that is, dry ration, etc., that we do carry along. And rest is you have to live off the land because your water is finished. So if you have a rain, you can collect water from the rain, or you can collect water from the river. The water will be, of course, a little bit dirty, and it will not be free of bacteria and all. So we are given, like, chlorine tablets, etc., that you put into the water, then you can drink it. It is drinkable after that. So all these things we are already trained into.
And that's really nice to know, sir. And I mean, really amazing how, these things, challenging times which are occurring, and they are not many times, very open that these are what is going on, things which are like under operation and on, but they are really scary. And thank you so much for sharing a few of the facts and figure of it, that you have, your team had actually tackled it. Really amazing, sir, and so much respect to all of your team and yourself for that, sir.
Thank you.
How do you make sure that your team always does their best? Because as you are the leader, and I'm sure there must be multiple people, many people reporting to you. So how do you make sure that they are performing their best?
Initially, it is the planning, and you planning and briefing, and after planning and briefing, then you rehearse the operation that you're going to perform. So you rehearse it before that, and then you ultimately go to the operation. So when everything has been planned and you do take a little bit of calculated risk so that there is no casualty on our side, and accordingly you do your operation. So the chances of something going wrong becomes very negligible. So we go into like a zero error operation, and then there's no casualty from our side. But you cannot rule out casualties because this is normal. In course of when there is firing from this side and that side, you can't rule out that is not going to hit me. So it can hit you, but you do take your precautions. So you have to take all precautions.
Right. Very true. And so, like, according to you, what all qualities one must possess in order to join CRPF?
I would say bravery, integrity, and loyalty to your motherland. These three things should be possessed by a person if you want to join any of the forces.
Right. Right. That's very true. So, what is your professional work like work day, or like is it like all the time you have to be on duty, or you guys are allowed to have separate time for family, or how is it like? Is it like police, like 24-hour, 24/7, or if like peace is maintained in the nation, then is it like some sort of relief which you get sometimes, or it is always you have to be on duty?
And we have like P station and off station. Both are there. So after a strict tenure of about 8 years, then ultimately you are given a P station for 3 years.
Right.
So a tenure of a person in one place is normally 3 years. So when you're in a P station, then you get a lot of time for extra co-curricular activities, etc. You have a mess, your club out here. You have for playing tennis and badminton and various different games. But then you do, of course, have a lot of office work. So from that office work, you don't say you get time, but you have to take out your time. You got to manage your time
Right.
to ultimately, you got to play games also. You got to stay healthy and fit because every year we have a medical examination of every person, and in that he should be fit for further retention and for promotion, etc. So you maintain that you do get I would say enough time. You can manage to play games and keep yourself fit.
Right, right. So that leads to my second question, sir, that how do you do work-life balance, like your professional and personal life? How do you maintain balance between both?
Oh, it comes out that way. There is nothing difficult in that because from your professional life, you ultimately do manage to save time to ultimately spend time with your families and children also because it is it is not all work and no play. So it has to be work and play both combined together, and you do get sufficient time except when you are in operational area where you get very little time because you go in for operation for 6 days, 7 days, then you come back. And normally we are into 24/7 readiness. But if the situation is cool, then you also get a little bit of rest. If the situation is volatile, then no rest. Then you're completely 24/7, you are on duty.
Right, right, right. So, um, uh, this is a transferable job, like this is a government job, right? So how difficult or easy it has been for your children in terms of education, because you are one day posted in a particular city, then next day some another city. So as a family, how did you dealt with that particular aspect which comes with this job?
I think even for the children, like this sort of job that I'm into, it is like a adventure for even the children. Like every 3 years you change place, you change classes, you change teachers, so it develops confidence into the children also. Because every time you have a new teacher or you have new friends, you have a new place, new classroom, new school, so develops confidence and they get into the habit of mixing up
Right,
with new friends and people wherever they go.
right,
And for like any person working in the force, every 3 years he goes to a new place. It is all adventurous. You see places that people have not even heard of. You go into all those interior places where people never thought these places exist.
Right.
So all these places you go, and you go all on government duty, so no problem. But of course, there has been difficulties where, like my children, I got transferred in a year. I had to go. I didn't get transferred in the same battalion, but I had to move from there to Kathua. From, like, I was in Bhubaneswar. From Bhubaneswar, I went and moved to Kathua, that is J&K, and from J&K, then ultimately I moved to Tinsukia, and from there again to Agartala. So it happened that my daughter had to, uh, one session, like she had to go in three different places, and, like, one class, that is seventh class, she appeared in three different places. But they get used to it. They get used to it. It is a life like that we normally live on day-to-day basis.
Right. So I think that prepares children also for better in terms of adjustment and get to see new places along with new different culture, and it is sort of on a positive note only.
Yes, yes, of course.
Definitely. Sir, so as am very well aware of, you have very accomplished children. Like your elder daughter is a doctor and major in Indian Army, and the younger one is a engineer and aspiring to join forces. So, what are your thoughts on women empowerment? Like, what challenges do you see, and what are the possible solution? Is our society has progressed, or it is still the same? What can we do? Because whatever you say is going to make a really huge impact.
Right. The woman empowerment is a must, because basically it is the Constitution of India that gives you equal rights to everybody, all the citizens.
Right.
So for the progress of society, woman empowerment is a must. And especially in our country, we have seen, we have had woman president of India, then we have women who have been prime minister of India, then, like, ambassadors and CEOs of big companies and all. So I think India that way is leading in terms of woman empowerment. There were those olden days where I think because of lack of education, people did not see a woman to be like his equal. But now we have seen that woman is not only equal, whereas in some places women are shot far beyond male. The
Okay.
female shot beyond, far beyond males, and they're much better off there, and much more leading positions and leading status right now.
Okay.
So that is a must. I think equality before law is required for everybody. It may be a woman or a downtrodden, or a, like, garib or amir. They should. Everybody has to have equality.
Right.
That is society.
Right. Sir. But like in day-to-day life also, Hukam, as when we see many of the times, not uh, like every time, but most of the time, what we see is, nowadays also people are, they find very easy to speak about dowry. So when we go for our daughter's proposal, they will not feel for a second also what they are talking and whom they are talking to, or they are talking to a person who, like, the girl is highly educated, so people are still probably following dowry system. And once the girl gets married, she'll be restricted over multiple things if the family is not broad-minded, maybe for her dressing or eating, herself going out, pursuing job. And the other scenario is like, some of the parents, like, you have cherished and raised your daughter extremely well, but there are some parents, they'll feel like, oh God, I have a daughter, now what should I do? I am the most, uh, like, my luck is not good. And they will just force her to get married. They will be just after that one agenda is for them, so she will not feel highly good about her career also. So what are your thoughts on all these variety of issues, like people are restricting girls?
This is, I would say, it is very unfortunate, especially in our country, because we still have to grow compared to the Western culture that is available in the rest of the countries and all. But it is very unfortunate. But I basically have not faced that situation, because right from the beginning, My children, they got all the facilities, and I was, me and my wife, we were both that, okay, whatever career you want to pursue, we are going to help you out with that, and we are always standing behind you.
Right.
So it was their individual choice, like what career they want to take in. But still, nowadays, especially in Rajput communities, I have seen that people are not opting for dowries and all that. There has been a certain change because of education and the young generation which is coming in.
Right.
The boys, they are not asking for dowry. And there has been cases where dowry was offered during Tilak, that is the engagement ceremony,
Okay.
and was returned outright by the boy, and he said, okay, give me rupees one, just give me one rupee, and
Right.
that consider as, tilak dastur, and they do not take anything.
Right.
I I would feel any person who has a daughter, if he feels that way, that no, I got a daughter, I may have to pay dowry for a marriage and all, I would say that's very bad. Why doesn't that parent feel that I should bring up my daughter to such a level where people come and ask for her hand?
Right.
Instead of you going and trying to look for a match,
Right.
you bring your daughter to such a level that people come to you to ask for her. So you become sun. You should
Right.
become sun. You should become moon, so that people look up to you instead
Right.
of looking down.
Right.
So
Right.
that is the requirement of the hour, that girls have to stand on their own feet,
Okay.
and
Very
they
essential.
they should, girls, I do feel they are comparatively more intelligent than boys.
Okay.
It has been seen
Okay.
in all these examinations, like 10th examination, 12th examination,
Okay.
there is most of the cases where girls have topped, and most of the first division, first grade and all, they have been mostly taken away by the girls, and boys are far behind. So girls are intelligent, but they are not given that opportunity, because maybe because people might not be having money and all, if you want to pursue a career, education is quite expensive nowadays. So that expense, everybody is not available, he doesn't have that. But of course, with the new policies that have come in, where you have, education loan and all, you take education loan, you just pay the interest, and after that, when the person gets a job, he pays the loan.
Right.
So these sort of policies that have come up in the country, I don't think so. There should be any such problem for any girl trying to pursue a career that she actually wants to do. And the parents should be advised, like people who have already come up to a certain standard, they should go and brief them. They should go and brief them that, okay, your girl should be allowed to take or choose a career, whatever
Right.
career she wants to do, and you should support her with all your tan man and dhan. That is required. That is
Absolutely.
required nowadays.
Okay. Okay. I'm very sure that many of our viewers would listen to you, and they make their daughters study freely, pursue their careers freely, rather than just pushing them to get married and just restricting them. So thank you so much for sharing such wonderful thoughts with us, Hukam. And Hukam, what are your message to the aspirant to CRPF?
Anybody who wants to join the CRPF, first he should have a love for uniform. This is not just like you're getting a job. It is not just a job that you're getting. You should have love for your uniform. Then you should have love for your motherland. Then only a person should join the forces, CRPF or any of the forces,
Right.
because because nowadays with a lot of these militants and terrorists and groups trying to disintegrate the country, they want to break it into small pieces. So these people will be at that job regularly. You have been interested that you have to maintain the integrity of the country, and for that you will have to fight. You have to fight. And any person who feels that okay, it's just a job, he should not come, he should not join the CRPF. And the person who feels ki no, I'm going to fight for my country, or I want my country not to be disintegrated, so that fellow should come in, because that would be the love for his country, that for which he can serve in the forces.
Right, right. Absolutely. Absolutely, sir. So tell us something about your daily routine. Like, because many people say, when we try to get some good qualities from big personalities, we must study that what do they do day to day life. So I'm very sure that, your daily routine also will be very much inspiring.
Yeah, I get up early in the morning and then go in for a walk, and of course me and my wife together,
Okay.
and then after that I go into a workout for about an hour, and after breakfast go to the office at about 10 o'clock, come back at again 1:30, have lunch, 1 hour rest. During that time I do a bit of reading or watching the news and TV channel.
Okay.
And evening after the office, that is about at 6:30, then I go to games. I would rather play tennis or I'll play badminton. If I get nothing, I'll go and play even basketball and volleyball. And come back, then spend time with the family and have dinner with them. And I would not say early sleep, but I would go to sleep at about 11 o'clock in the night, and because you got to get up again in the morning.
Right, right. Very true. So, sir, do you follow a particular diet?
Nothing like that. I'm very fond of eating and all that.
Okay.
So I prefer like good dishes, and especially non-veg dishes.
Okay.
So no such that. Whatever is being made, of course, like in the morning, I would have like parathas also, or idli or dosa, any such thing. And lunch there'll be normally dal, sabji, roti, chawal, and all that. And dinner also veg only, but once a week normally I go in for a non-veg.
And as you have been national level aquatic champion, so till date, like your like any routine of yours which connects to it, like once in a month, or like you are in touch with swimming more, or you have this job,
Normally,
hectic job and your busy schedule, you're not in touch.
normally the places that we get deployed into, there is hardly a good city out there. The rest, leave aside a swimming pool. Swimming pools is normally not available in most of the cities.
Right.
But there are like where you have a university or some colleges who do maintain a swimming pool for like sports. Otherwise, you have these small pools. I would not call it a pool. It is rather a home that is being managed by most of these resorts and hotels and all. So you can't sorry, you can't like learn swimming there or go into like something professional swimmer as for competition basis and all that. So that normally it is not available in most of the places unless you are in a peace posting. Peace posting, of course, we are in the cities where we do have swimming pools and all that. Otherwise, companies and all, they are into far flung areas, into the jungles where they are supposed to carry out special operations.
Okay.
Basically, they put it deep into the jungle so that the militants and all, they're not able to cross over that place and come to the cities and like do some firing incident out there.
Right. Sir, please share with us your success mantra.
Success mantra, I would say there are only three mantras, and that is first is hard work, second is again hard work, and third is again hard work.
Very true, sir. That's true. Just dreams, daydreams doesn't work. We have to work really hard in order to turn them into reality. What are your future plans like once you are free from services? Any plans, specific plans which you would like to go for?
Yes, I like to basically, help out people, help out society, because after a very, stringent tenure for the last nearly about 41 years, I do feel that I have to do something for the society also. Of course, we have been fighting right now with terrorists and militants to see that the society is safe. But besides that, I have not been into society because you go for a leave for 1 month or something, and in that 1 month you're hardly able to do anything for the public.
Right,
So I want to get into societies and my society where I'm staying in the Jaipur. So I would feel that retiring as a senior officer in a police force, I do have a lot of equation with the local police out there due to my rank. So I'll be able to help out people anywhere where they are involved into police cases. You do understand that nowadays people say कि जबरदस्ती मेरे पे case थोप दिया, people caught me and I have to pay ultimately fine and all. So I would try to go and help them, help these people out so that we have a good police and public relation. So I will do that in my time after retirement.
very noble thought, sir. So in the COVID times, what steps you and your family are following in order to, as preventive measures from this disease, and people might follow the same. So what are your uh, daily routine in terms of the COVID? Like, are you strictly not going out, you and your family members, or if going, using masks?
Basically, COVID precaution is only lockdown. You have to stay in a state of lockdown, then only you can help yourself or you can help others also. We are in a campus. We are in a campus. It is a gated area where people can't have access
Okay.
to the camp unless he is given permission. So we are comparatively safe to the colonies that are outside available in the market, but we have very strict norms that unless it is very essential, we are not going to go out. But whenever we go out, also we of course we take all the precautions by wearing a mask and then having a sanitizer close by with you in your car or in your pocket. So I would advise everybody that you should follow the instruction that has been issued by the government of India in case of this COVID-19, and try not to go out or mingle into crowd. And if you even have to go out, if it is an emergency, try to go out in the period when the public is the least in the market. That I would say the afternoon, say about 1:30 to 2:30 or 3 o'clock. That is the time when there is a lean in the public. So that would be more safe instead of going at about 6:30 or 7:30 when everybody feels crowd. Because probably ultimately people after about 4 or 5 months of lockdown, people have taken it for granted that now we have to get out, and if we get COVID, let us get COVID, nothing to worry about. It's not that. You have to take precaution because it is not only you are responsible for yourself, you are responsible against your family also. You might be having a old age parents. So if you don't take precautions and you come and give it to them, and God forbid if anything happens, then you are responsible. So you have to be a very responsible citizen. So save yourself and save your family and the society as such.
Yes, I mean, it's a really scary time because we are heading towards probably second position globally in terms of having number of cases, and daily cases like 83,000 or so we are having nowadays. So I just hope that people listen out and follow these instructions so we can have minimal cases, and hopefully one day it just goes away somehow by
So
vaccine or something. Hukam, so now we are into the next segment and the last portion where we are having some fun facts from your side. It is called favorite. So, what is your favorite color, sir?
my favorite color is yellow.
Oh, any specific reason?
Yellow is like it stands for brightness and it is colorful. And I don't basically don't like dull colors, because I never had a dull life. I always had a bright and enjoyous life.
Right, right, right. Makes sense, absolutely. Your favorite city?
My favorite city is Udaipur, Rajasthan,
Due to
because
lakes and beauty of it?
due to the lake and due to the culture.
Oh,
Basically, the culture, that is prevalent in Mewad. So Udaipur, like, basically people are very docile, people are helpful, and they're very courteous, and the place is quite clean comparative to rest of the cities. Of course, I do know that Indore was the best cleanest city which has been declared, but Udaipur is very clean, and people are quite aware regarding hygiene and sanitation out there, and basically it is more of a courtesy. Anybody is come, padaro sa, birajo sa, jimo
Right.
sa. That culture is still there out there, and of course Jodhpur is also there, but the most part of the intake of tourism, that is taken away by Udaipur.
Right, right, right. Very well said, sir. Your best actor, like favorite actor?
My favorite actor, like, olden days, I would say Balraj Shani.
Okay.
Balraj Shani, like, he was like, actor who would not like overact, or, like you find, the hero jumps from here to the first floor, he does a somersault and lands there. He was like original actor. Or I would say in the, olden days ke baad, you have the mid section, I would call it Amol Palekar. A very, decent actor. He would not overact anything. It was very normal, very normal that would come. So these two actors, I found the oldies. In the new one, I would say Ranveer Kapoor, Ranveer Singh. They're doing good. Like, they don't do overacting. Good comedy, like, good serious roles also, and especially I would say Ranveer Singh, Khilji guy was very good. Was very
Right,
good.
right. In Padmavat, yeah. Truly, sir. And how about actresses, sir?
How about
Actresses, favorite actress?
actress? Olden days, I would say Jay Bhaduri, and then the middle era, I would say Evergreen Rekha,
Wow.
and nowadays I would say Karishma. Probably in those days she had maximum movies that she was doing.
Right, right. Uh, what is your favorite philosophy which you follow?
Basically, it is just looking after the society, and everybody should have some norms and like, rules for yourself that you maintain, so that everything goes on well. Because you got to have that, you have to fix do's and don'ts. These are things that you can do, and these are things that you can't do, or you're not permitted to do. That should be like, followed by entirely everybody. Then only, like, the society functions. If everybody has his own thinking, then, and he has his own philosophy, then whatever I'm doing is okay, that's not the case. It has to be decided by the society, that what you can do and what you cannot do. So that is very essential.
Sir, your favorite song?
My being in the forces, I'm very much a patriot, and my famous song would be, there's an old movie, black and white, Shaheed. It was about Bhagat Singh and Rajguru and Chandrasekhar Azad. So that movie, I like the song, was Mera Rang De Basanti Chola. That song.
May I request you to sing two lines for us?
Yeah, why not? मेरा रंग दे बसंती चोला, मेरा रंग दे बसंती चोला, ओए रंग दे बसंती चोला, माए रंग दे बसंती चोला। इस चोले को पहन शिवाजी खेले अपनी जान पे, इस चोले को पहन शिवाजी खेले अपनी जान पे, इसे पहन झांसी की रानी मिट गई अपनी आन पे। आज इसी को पहन के निकला, पहन के निकला, आज इसी को पहन के निकला, हम मस्तों का टोला, मेरा रंग दे बसंती चोला, मेरा रंग दे बसंती चोला, मेरा रंग दे बसंती चोला, ओए रंग दे बसंती चोला माए, रंग दे बसंती चोला. The best line of this song is दम निकले इस देश की खातिर बस इतना अरमान है, दम निकले इस देश की खातिर बस इतना अरमान है, एक बार इस राह पे चलना 100 जन्मों के समान है, देख के वीरों की कुर्बानी, देख के वीरों की कुर्बानी, अपना दिल भी बोला मेरा, रंग दे बसंती चोला, मेरा रंग दे बसंती चोला, मेरा रंग दे बसंती चोला, वे रंग दे बसंती चोला माए, रंग दे बसंती चोला.
Wow, sir, it was really beautiful, full of sentiments. Beautiful as sung. You are an artist, sir.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much for singing. It was like really mesmerizing. Sir, next favorite we would like to know of yours is which is your favorite season?
My favorite season is always winters because where you will, like, you don't have that, perspiration and all. You can go around places, and because I was also like deployed in Kashmir, so that place was good, like, But winters, like nowadays, of course, winters is not so severe in India, especially in Rajasthan, and all, because I remember when we had 2 degrees and 1 degree and 0 degree. But nowadays, the winter hardly goes down to about, say, 7, 8, 9 degrees. But still, 7, 8, 9 degrees, that is good. Like, you can wear good clothes. Like, you can go into coats and, great coats and pullovers and jerseys and all that. But in summer, you can't wear anything. It is already either a shirt or a t-shirt and jeans or a trouser below. But winters, of course, you can have different type of clothing that you can wear, and look colorful and bright that way.
Right. Very true, sir. Uh, your favorite movie?
My favorite movie was English, I would say, Sound of Music and Gone with the Wind. And Hindi, I know a lot of movies I've seen, but one movie I particularly like was the old movie 20 Saal Baad. It was a very, very, like, suspenseful movie, right from beginning to end. You could not find out who the murderer or the killer was. So 20 Saal Baad.
Is it the same movie in which she's having her hands which are just going to keep on extending like 30
No,
meters?
this is about the hero was Viswajit, and like he goes into a place where murders are regularly happening, and ultimately he finds out who the murderer is. And old movie, like, जिसका गाना है बेकरार करके हमें यूं न जाइए आपको हमारी कसम लौट आइए. Very old movie, Viswajit. That was my movie.
Okay, wonderful choice, sir. And which cuisine you like the most?
With heroine.
No, which cuisine you like the most?
Cuisine, I'm fond of red meat, so it is always lal mas.
Okay. And in vegetarian?
Vegetarian, I would say lady finger, bindi, Burma, or like, kurkuri and that way.
Okay. Uh, and what is your favorite hobby?
My favorite hobby is traveling. Traveling because I travel quite a lot, and normally I travel by car. From here, I'm posted in Hyderabad. From Hyderabad to Ajmer, we travel by car only. Whenever I go on leave. So when you travel in car, you are able to see places. You are able to see people. You are able to see the, like, traditions and customs that they follow. So en route, and you are able to meet people, different languages, and different appearance and all. So I like that. So I like traveling a lot.
So, what's your favorite travel destination?
Favorite travel destination would be, like, besides Udaipur, then it would be Mount Abu. So Mount Abu is a very good place to go around, and especially with beautiful, like, Delwara Mandir with those architecture and all of those old days where you did not have machineries or trucks and all to pull things over. in those days, they had done a wonderful job that time.
Right. Very good choice, sir. And which is your favorite festival?
Favorite festival is, I would say, Holi and Carnival of Goa. Both of these. Holi, I really enjoy, like, when you play with colors with the people, and they say, like, Holi ke dil mil jate hain, like, dushman bhi gale mil jate hain. So that is why Holi has always been my favorite festival. And in addition to that, then I did go to Goa and I once attended Carnival Festival. I really liked it. So, like, get together of all the societies and all the people together and, singing and dancing. So it is something like merrymaking. So
Right.
anything that is merrymaking and enjoyable, that festival I like.
Okay. What is your favorite subject, sir?
Subject wise, I like fine arts basically. I I was like doing miniature paintings during my school days, and we had painting contest organized by JJ School of Arts, and in that there were about 60-70,000 students who had taken part, and I was in merit list at 23rd position in that competition. Well, I like fine arts quite a lot, sculptures, paintings, because normally you have a painting, you don't have to give it a name, you don't have to give it a subject. The painting, it speaks about itself. Anybody, you have, it is your, perceiving ability, like when you see a painting, so you think what the painter is trying to say. Everybody can perceive differently. So, like, one painting will be like, perceived differently by different people. So, and anything which is written or anything that has just one meaning, one interpretation. So there's different interpretation of a painting or a sculpture, especially. So I find arts that way very much.
Right, right. So with that comes end of our interview, sir, and we would like to give you heartfelt thanks for sparing out time for us and speaking so candidly, discussing over different subjects and matters. Thank you so much, sir.
Most welcome, most welcome. Kamagani to you,
Come again.
and be blessed.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Bye.
मैं आशा रखती हूँ आपको मेरा वीडियो पसंद आया होगा. डू लाइक इट एंड शेयर इट विथ योर फ्रेंड्स एंड फैमिली. जॉय ऑफ शेयरिंग से कनेक्टेड रहने के लिए उसे सब्सक्राइब करना बिल्कुल ना भूलें, ताकि आने वाले कोई भी वीडियो से आप मिस आउट ना हो जाएं. थैंक यू सो मच.